Here we fucking go. Welcome back to CollaboRadio, folks. My name is Jack. I'm also known as Jawka. Joining me as always is Steve, also known as ThinkFishTank.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. And our special guest of the day is DJ extraordinaire and host of Space Jams Radio. Say hello to Mr. Jack Dyson.
Hello, sir. How's it going?
Hello. It's a pleasure to see you here.
Oh, it's an honor to be here, man. Truly.
Thank you very much. So, yay, I think that's the cleanest intro we've had
I know.
in ages. And so
it was like so clean, I was waiting for something to go wrong.
Yeah, we were just kind of sitting in stunned silence there for a second, like, hang on, did we actually get it in one?
Wait, this can't be right.
What the fuck?
Progress.
Usually I have something to make fun of Jack for, like he says something wrong, and usually the first part of the show is me making fun of what he said.
Yeah.
So I don't even know where to go from here.
Oh,
this is
shit.
tough.
There's no material. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Ready for radio right there.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so just for listeners who may not be familiar, can you tell us a little bit about what exactly Space Jams Radio is?
Absolutely. Well, the whole thing started nearly 2 years ago now. I've been on radio for quite a long time. And basically, I came up with a spin-off show because I do lots of like DJ mixes. And I kind of wanted to do like some kind of disco show, and I was like, but I wanted it to be set in space, and I came up with lots of names and stuff. Like I was like saying maybe like Cosmic Crescendos, lots of really like just weak names, and then and then my friend was just like, how about Space Jams? And I was like, holy shit, that's the best thing I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
And then I kind of just like, I guess I was playing it safe by just playing house and disco, because generally, like, you know, in mainstream or commercial radio, people, that's a safe thing to start off with. But because I've got a very eclectic taste, I kind of just started to like, what if I add some vaporwave in there, see what happens, or let's add some future funk, and then eventually Plunderphonics. And basically the show kind of transformed into a weekly thing, and then I aired it on a bunch of stations, and it just changes genres every single week. And to be honest, it just kind of caters for my music listening, because I often change my mind quite a lot. Like 1 week I'll be into disco, then I'll quite fancy like some lo-fi hip hop. Like I change all the time. So I guess it was just a show that kind of allowed me to just carry on doing what I'm doing, and just and it somehow worked. And then I kind of just reached out to some like DJs and producers to get them to see if I want to do a guest mix, and then started to get that rolling. And then we've now done 60 shows. So I've had 60 artists, and it's always myself in the first hour. And we've just had lots of crazy shows, and it's been amazing because I've had some of my idols on there now, like some people that I never thought I'd be able to collaborate with, and they've just come on the show, and everyone tends to like it because they can play what they want, and it's just been fun, and people seem to kind of engage with it really. And I'm quite happy. I'm just massive blessed to all those that have listened and allowed me to carry on doing what I'm doing, because it's quite a highlight of my week, to be honest.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jack. So you were saying you had some of your idols on there. Would you mind saying like what some of those influential artists are that you've had?
I was going to say, now's a great time to name drop. You know, it's not an ashamed thing to do on this show. You can drop all the names you want.
So it had may have had Pitbull. No, I didn't have Pitbull. Well, actually, this name drop it seriously. This is one of my idols, and you guys, I'm pretty sure you know who he is. Pesus.
Oh, hell yeah.
Honestly, like, because I just was so gobsmacked when he said yes, and it was a really good show, one of the most received ones, and it was just amazing because I listened to his music, you know, since the dawn of Plunderphonics, since, you know, Pogo became a thing, and then the whole I don't know if you still call it the Pogo Mix community, but you know, that era when obviously more and more people kind of branched out and did their own thing. And I remember like I used to catch like P-Sus's and Dynamo's, they used to do like this DJ live stream. Do you guys ever watch it? It was like on, I think it was like Ustream. I think it's like a defunct platform now.
Oh, right, holy shit! Yeah, I remember that.
But it was mad. They would just play like they play like Justice, and they played, you know, lots of eclectic tunes. But they've just got, you know, one of Pogo's Star Wars mixes mixed in there, and it just kind of gave me like inspiration, I suppose, because they just played what they wanted, and and some of his albums. I mean, I've been listening recently to Sky Rhythms back in, I think it was quite a few years ago, 2012, I think it was. And when I heard that when it first came out, I mean, that album, it's just incredible. Like, I've listened to it, you know, and every single state,
Yeah.
and it just resonates in whatever state you're in, and it's just amazing. So,
by states, you mean like different states in the United States?
Oh, yes,
of course,
yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah. As opposed to the states of mind, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not that. No.
Yeah, I particularly like it when I'm in the state of California.
Yes,
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was amazing to have him on, and and another person recently, Eclectic Method.
Yes,
that was a real shock as well, because that guy's pretty huge, and just messaged him in the off chance, and similar thing. He got really on board with it, and it was a good show. And I like it because whenever they do those guest mixes, give me a chance to bring out some Plunderphonics into the mix, because I guess like by playing so many different genres, you attract quite a big audience. So people that might like disco, they might start following me, but those that listen every week, it's a chance to bring them something new. It's just really fun doing Plunderphonics remixes. It's really, really eclectic, and there's so many awesome artists out there. And he himself, his guest mix was just insane. Like he just, I asked him, as like, you have like a couple of weeks to do it, and he gave it to me like in a few hours. He had like a video made for it and everything. Like, dude's a machine. He's crazy.
Oh, damn.
Oh yeah. He's the best.
Yeah, he's I don't know if he's that well known really. I suppose he's probably the most commercial Plunderphonics artist we have, debatably.
Pisas? Oh, I mean, maybe, right? It's
Yeah.
It depends on like people who would define themselves as Plunderphonics for sure. Yeah, if you're not counting like hip hop producers and stuff, but yeah, I think pretty close. What would you say, Jack? I mean, other than like Pogo.
At least as far as like the people that we know, yeah, I'd say Pat's definitely up there. But were you referring to Pat, or were you referring to? There was another artist you mentioned. Eclectic Method, yeah.
Eclectic Method, but he's a bit more. Yeah, I would say he's probably almost as big as Pogo, just because like he does commissions, from what I understand. So,
sure.
So he did like a Rick and Morty remix, which is amazing, but like that was commissioned by Adult Swim, I'm pretty sure. So he is getting, like Pogo, he's getting full out commissions. Yeah, I think he's pretty big, because I think he's more kind of he's less Plunderphonics, more kind of, I guess, sampling, more electronic, really. Like he just kind of, I don't know, he just kind of caters for more, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's crazy. Like I say, I'm just very grateful to where I've gotten so far, really, and blessed to all those that have tuned in. It's amazing.
Jack, since we do talk a lot about Plunderphonics music on this podcast, since we're Plunderphonics producers. What kind of got you into that genre? Was it Pogo stuff, or was it something else? So
it was Pogo. If I remember correctly, it was the movie Up had just come out.
Sure.
Yeah, and so I think Pixar commissioned the tracker Upula.
Yep.
So, and I remember seeing that at the time, because I saw it in the Pixar YouTube channel. It was just like, check out this really cute remix.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I watched it. I thought that was kind of cool. And it was really weird. Like a year later, I think I then saw Up on DVD or something. And then I remember just like, I remember there was quite an interesting remix. I didn't really remember it, but I was like, I remember there was this interesting remix about it. Then I then found it on Pogo's channel, and then that's when I discovered all of his other stuff, and I just had a full-on, to be graphic, just a music-gasm. I just exploded. I just exploded. I was like, there's so much, oh my God. And then I just followed him for years and stuff. I mean, I used to listen and watch to everything Pogo did. I used to watch all of his like random, him just driving around in a car, eating sausage rolls and chatting.
Oh yeah,
God.
I remember those days. Yeah,
just like chatting shit. And obviously, like his voice was so easy to listen to. And I heard like his like Radio Pogo stuff, and I just followed him for a while. And then I think slowly, I just discovered everyone else. Really, I think Dynamo was next. I think because in the beginning, everyone kind of really stuck to the whole like standard Disney remix. You know how like it's evolved a bit. I can't describe it, but it used to just be standard Disney, just lots of quotes meshed in. All that, like it was like more of a mashup. But I think like at the beginning it was very much like a fan service, because obviously like the nostalgia. So obviously Pogo would remix some of the movies you watched as a kid and stuff. But then if I would say, for example, I would see like I wasn't looking for the artist. I then see on like the recommended, I see like a Fox and the Hound remix. I was like, oh my God, I love Fox and the Hound. So I'll just go based on my nostalgia, I think. And I think now what's good about it, Plunderphonics now, is that it's less about the fan service, because now like, people are doing literally clearly the stuff that they listen to. Like some person, there's like I think I saw a Steven Universe remix on there somewhere the other day.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay.
And just everything. So people are starting out by doing their favorite films. So I think that's just how I kind of got into it, really. I just listened. I got lost in the nostalgia, and then the other artists kind of developed themselves a bit more, like P-Sus. He just, did some really beautiful ambient lo-fi type stuff. And then Jish was more like, he did some chip tune type stuff. And then Dynamo, I think he kind of sounds like he went like down the future funk vaporwave kind of route in some of his tracks.
Yeah.
And it's great. So, and that's what I like it the most. People have kind of stuck with it, but they've developed themselves a bit more. And, the same with you guys. So I think I think nostalgia ultimately draws lots of people into Plunderphonics, but then if you really dig the artist, you'll then kind of follow their music journey, I suppose.
Oh, for sure, man. Have you ever tried your hand at producing?
It's on my list of things, among other things. I mean, I've got an endless list of stuff. Like I need to paint my bedroom shelves, for example.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's something I think at the moment my big thing was to learn how to DJ, then to build the brand, to put on some nights in the UK. So I'm focusing more on that kind of route at the moment. Like I'm trying to put on, like I'd love to put on a Plunderphonics night at some point. That's my big aim.
Hey,
Yes.
yeah.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah, I just think because there's got to be a need for it, I think, and I just thought if we could just get like imagine like Pogo, Eclectic Methods, and just have like G's, P-Set, and just everyone would come over for it, I think, for sure. And both Nick and Eclectic Method, they're both up for it when I spoke to them about it, so it'll happen at some point. The only awkward thing is obviously just everyone's located all over the world,
Right.
You guys are scattered in the States, Nick's in Australia. Some of us are here in the UK. It's just trying to find a neutral meeting ground is quite tough. But I know there's been some gigs, like I think I saw Pogo in Paris a few years ago. Have you guys heard of that one?
Yeah, I remember Josh went to that one. Yeah, he told me a little bit about that. That was the one in Paris, that's what you said?
Oh, it was insane. Yeah, it was like...
Yeah.
I remember I turned up, and because it was in the Rex Club, which is quite a famous club. I think like Daft Punk used to play there back in the day. Really,
wow.
Really famous club. But the first artist, I can't remember his name, it was a bit slow, and basically the place was empty. And I remember just being like, oh no, I really hope this isn't, shit.
Right.
But then Nick came out, and I remember it was like really awkward times. Like I think the event started at midnight. I think didn't start until midnight, and he came on at 2 a.m.
Oh wow.
Oh shit.
And then I think Eclectic Method was on at 4, but I had a coach to catch at 7 a.m. and I was very drunk and lost and I was just trying to basically not die in Paris. So it was a small sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's a good goal, honestly.
Yeah. Specifically not dying in Paris.
Yeah. Just staying alive in general is good, but
If you could
especially
survive
when you're in Paris.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack, have you ever met any of the British Plunderphonics boys? Like you got Geesh, of course. You got Riverman, Mr. Simon. Have you met any of these guys?
I have kind of reached out to Jish because he'd be another great. I'm sure I'd love to hear a guest mix from him at some point. I think I've tried to. I haven't quite done that yet. I think I will aim to. Riverman, I think I've spoken to.
Yeah, he's a good friend.
Yeah, spoken to Riverman. And Mr. Simon, I haven't heard anything from that guy from a while. Is he still producing?
That's a good question.
I believe he is.
Yeah.
I want to say he did a live stream of sorts a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I unfortunately wasn't able to make it to that, but I think he's still doing stuff, even if on an on and off basis. Yeah,
I remember because I remember his stuff was quite different. It was like quite hectic in a good way. And do you remember there's like a Dexter's Lab remix album? Do you remember that?
Oh,
Disruptor, yeah.
That was him.
That was great as well because he had lots of collaboration. Because I remember the track by Geisha, is it Electrochemistry?
Electrochemistry or something like that?
Yeah. Oh, amazing. I mean,
really good. Really good track.
I'm a huge Geisha fan as well. He's got such a real unique style. He's got real signature, I would say, actually. Like when he did the Legend of Zelda remix, I was just
yeah.
That bit is so impressive. Like all the sounds, like the little segment with just like the menu scrolling, that was crazy. And like it seems like quite a big project to remix something like that because you've got lots more sounds to play with than you do in like an hour and a half movie. So kudos to him, and of course Ocarina of Time. That shit slaps.
Hell yeah.
Everything about it.
I actually got to meet up with Geesh. God, this was many years ago now. But I was studying abroad in the UK at the time, and we met up, and I got to actually see the project file for that, and like, yeah, it was insane. It was insane to just look at how he put it together, and oh god, that was a really cool experience just being able to hang out with him. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, and I like he does lots of, like, he did a track of kind of just remixing the life around him. But I think a few of them, I think I know, like Patrick's done that as well with the kitchen.
Yeah,
that's really
kitschy.
Yeah, that's really cool as well.
Yeah, that one's so good.
Yeah,
that's like oh man, old school. I miss those days so much.
Yeah, it's just, I would say like Plunderphonics was there was a lots more activity back in the day. I don't think it's dead at all, but yeah, they're just back in the days when it was just starting out, and there was just all kinds of people just pulling out all the stops. You know, it was great.
Yeah, everyone kind of came into it at like a similar age, you know, where we all had more free time and more energy. We didn't have full-time jobs, you know, like it was like this really fun community because we were always like online talking. We were always, you know, Skyping. We're always like making music and bouncing things off each other. And it is tough when everyone, you know, becomes has a career and things like that. It definitely changes.
Crushed by life.
No, it's a shame, but it does happen.
Because back in my college days, like even despite how busy I was, I still had a lot more free time. And that's something that you don't necessarily realize at the time until you don't have it anymore.
Yeah, there was definitely a year or two where we basically talked nonstop. Our small group. Yeah, you know, we were either working on music or playing Team Fortress 2. It was circa 2012 or something. 2013. Yeah, good times, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, like, kudos to you guys for like getting into producing at college. You know, because that's I know loads of people. You know, I wasn't doing any kind of music until I was like 25. I didn't do any projects like that. So it's amazing that you use your time back then, because you did recognize that you had some time to spare, you know.
Well, honestly, it's never too late to get into it. I mean, even if you just want to like open up a project file and start with the source material and just see what fucking happens. Like honestly, like don't let yourself be constrained by age or what have you.
No. Right. Yeah, for sure. No, definitely. So can I actually, do you mind if I ask you guys a question?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
So like, what kind of influences did you guys have to get into music? Like, who did you listen to before, would you say? Like, not necessarily like Plunderphonics, like who were your just influences growing up?
Oh, damn.
I would say the stuff I grew up listening to that inspired me to do this stuff was definitely like hip hop and rap and stuff like that of the early 2000s. Yeah. And the sampling always stuck out to me, and the turntablism, which you don't really hear too much anymore. But the sampling was always my favorite part. I loved when they would, you know, pull up an old record sample or something like that. Obviously like Wu-Tang, that kind of stuff, but even like deeper stuff than that. And those were always my favorite moments in these records that I would listen to, that my brother would listen to with me when I was a kid, like pretty young. And I think that's kind of like what started my love of sampling, was listening to these older hip hop records, like from the 90s and stuff. And then obviously the other one for me, I've said this a bunch of times on this podcast, but Kraftwerk was a big one for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people, maybe Daft Punk is like similar in that nature to them. But Kraftwerk is kind of how I got into electronic music, and the fact that, you know, they were making like synthesizer music before anyone, and making, it's like, it still holds up to date. Like there's still bangers, and they were made so long ago. It's insane to me how well that holds up. So yeah, definitely I would say that a big one for me would be Kraftwerk for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
For me, like, I honestly didn't really get into the electronic scene before I stumbled across Pogo's music. And that was when I kind of dived into his music, and then from his music, like learning about other artists who did similar stuff, like Dynamo and Pisces and Gish, and then from there, like expanding back into like Steve, you brought up Daft Punk earlier. Mm-hmm. I was familiar with Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, but then I dived back into the album that was also Discovery, and mind-blowing example of masterful bits of sampling.
Yeah, that album's just insane.
Yeah, it just, again, like words kind of fail, because how do I struggle with describing things to begin with.
Yeah, I'm I'm the same. Well, I was just remembering though, like, do you guys have Cartoon Network over there, right?
We do.
Yeah.
Because I remember in the UK, of course, pretty sure it's an American thing. But when I was growing up, they used to have, like, in the adverts in between the shows, they used to, the Discovery, they did like a movie.
Oh, yeah.
They used to show, like, just like they just have a song, they just have like a segment of the story. So I used to just grow up and they just, like, randomly played like, they play like One More Time in between tracks and they have this cool, cartoon to watch. I remember just growing up with that, and then like years later, when I discovered Discovery, I was like, "Oh my god! Like I know this album already. How do I know this?" And then
oh, amazing!
Oh wow!
Yeah, Cartoon Network was amazing back in the day. Well, the Dexter's Lab era, the amazing times.
Right. Were you like a '90s kid? I don't know how old you are, British Jack.
Yes, I'm a '90s kid. So I was born in '91.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Big time '90s kids. And it's funny because I work quite a lot with the synthwave community. Because I'm putting on like, obviously synthwave, it's based upon the whole 80s memorabilia, and I do like that, but at its core, I just can't wait for like, obviously how the 80s are making a huge comeback, like with Stranger Things, this is being referenced in culture. And there's often like lots of nights, hence why there's like synthwave nights and things. I just can't wait for the big 90s revival. Do you know what I mean? Like when the point where everyone looks back and goes, "Oh, the 90s were cool as well."
The 90s were nice, weren't they? Yeah, exactly.
Because I just all the random stuff, like like big 90s kid.
Yeah, I think for me, even though I grew up with 90s music and all that, the stuff from the 80s feels nostalgic for me, and I don't know exactly why. But just the synthesizers and everything, oh my god, like that always feels like home to me. Maybe it's just because I was listening to 80s music growing up instead of 90s stuff with my parents. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I like that 80s aesthetic.
It just gives you nostalgia for a time that you weren't even alive for. You just feel like you were there, and you just like, if you watch Stranger Things or the movie Drive or whatever, you do just get very connected to the music. And like, you watch any movie, like, and you just see the cool cafes, like Back to the Future, the cool cafes and stuff, you just kind of appreciate the retroness of it all, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. That's funny you bring up the Drive soundtrack, because I think it was the summer that movie came out. I think that was around the time I started actually dabbling with music, and that was a huge moment for me. Was some of the tracks on there? I was just like, oh shit, this is so good. Yeah, it's a phenomenal movie.
It is. If I'm honest, I don't think much happens in the movie. It's lots of just Ryan Gosling just brooding and looking into the distance. But
he does like jump on someone's face in an elevator until there's blood everywhere. That's an image that sticks in my mind.
It's just the soundtrack, just the real human being and all that stuff. Yeah, no, it was amazing. And like,
what's the opening track? Night Call by
Kavinsky. Oh man.
Yes. Like the first time I heard that, it just like blew me away.
Oh yeah, Kavinsky's really good. But I mean, Night Call is just awesome. It's a very good track, and that whole album he did was good. Yeah, no.
I don't know if I've ever listened to the whole album. Maybe I'll have to put that on my to-do list.
It's really good. Like another sort of mainstream synthwave artist, Comtrues. You guys must have heard Comtrues.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like I suppose he's kind of regarded as a synthwave artist, sort of, but. Yeah, he's done some cracking stuff. He did like a remix of Tycho, I think, and that was just amazing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think like Tycho is one of my all-time favorites as well, and that's why I kind of like Patrick's music as well, just because the real, just the bohemian kind of just feel of it all. Again, you kind of reminisce for a time you weren't even alive for.
Yeah,
right. I know it's weird, isn't it? It's like this weird like sense that you have of like something feels right and you don't know why. But yeah, that's exactly how to sum it up.
I just feel like such a hipster though. It's like, you weren't there, man. I wasn't there. But...
yeah. I know. It feels wrong in a way. I'm like, I'm not allowed to like 80s music because, I wasn't alive for it, but that's just all I want to listen to.
You're allowed to like it. You're allowed to like music, Steve.
Okay. Thank you.
It's fine. You can enjoy music of any era. Damn it.
It just feels like you're like, I don't know, you're cheating a little bit to be like my favorite. I don't know. It's like if someone born in the 2000s was like, I love 90s like hip hop, I would be like, yeah, but
hey,
you weren't there for it. You know what I mean? Like this is like this weird ownership.
It doesn't necessarily matter if you weren't there for it. If it resonates with you, it fucking resonates with you, you know?
Yes, I agree, of course.
Oh yeah.
But like I get where you're coming from with that too.
Yeah. I feel like some people just give you that attitude where you're like, you weren't alive for the 80s. It's like, yeah, you're right. Tell us, British Jack. I don't know what else to refer to you as, unfortunately, because it's confusing otherwise. Tell us a little bit about your influences, like kind of what got you into DJing.
Well, I mean, I kind of grew up liking. I had like a real house music phase for many years. I still kind of like house music a little bit, but now it's a lot more defined. I guess I've always enjoyed going to gigs. I've always enjoyed like that kind of atmosphere, you know, but I think it was just, what kind of crafted me to get into Space Jams was just when I started to listen to the obscure stuff, you know, and that's why, like, CNS, like, you know, I listened to, I did listen to Plunderphonics a bit, but I think, like, I would say, like, I remember I discovered Vaporwave. I know this is going to be a real hit or miss statement. People either love Vaporwave or they freaking hate it, but
right.
But I remember just getting really hooked on that. Then I got into Future Funk, which is really fast paced. I think that's kind of what really made me want to do it, because I thought this is, you know, this shit is fun. You know, it's really sped up Japanese city pop, and it's just really fast disco music. I think it was mostly that, to be honest. And then I kind of got into disco quite a lot. Like I said, I just like everything really. I guess I've just had lots of music experiences. Like I like listening to albums, but it's when I've seen certain bands live and just capturing that magic. Like when I saw Underworld live and Tycho live and the XX, certain bands, just their live performance and just that feeling you kind of get, you know, like I want to kind of like recreate, mainly for me, you know, because obviously these mixes, the one guaranteed thing is that I'll always listen to them if no one else does. It's just, I think it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just the obscure music that people didn't listen to is what got me into DJing, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, exactly.
And that's why, like, you know, it's great to come on and chat with you guys. And I was really excited for this because, you know, it's like a little cult, isn't it? Like Plunder.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
These are my people. They understand me, you know. And like, and
it's so true.
And the same with like synthwave. I'm not a big 80s nut, and I do, you know, I've listened to a fair bit of it. But it's the fact that, you know, I used to watch these YouTube mixes of synthwave for years, and suddenly like you find these people that go to gigs. You're like, oh my god, and like all these people, you know, like it's like me and you guys, you know, we could be very different people, different lives, but we're brought together by this genre of music, you know. And but yeah, I think some of my biggest influences is definitely Acufin as well.
Yep. Yes.
Dude is just insane, like the stuff he does. I remember like he did the psychometry releases, that they were amazing. Who else? Do you guys know Dakobi?
I'm not familiar with him, no.
What was that?
Dakobi.
Dakobi, no. Can you spell that?
So Dekobe.
Oh, okay. Just like it sounds.
Yeah. Very similar to Pisas, I would say. Just that kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like more like modern Pisas, you know, with the whole kind of lo-fi hip hop kind of vibe, but just really just decent music.
Right on. We'll have to check that out. Yeah. Is it like sampling stuff, or is it more like?
No, this is just more kind of chill. Like there's a song, it's just very, very good, just kind of beats. Not aggressive, and just very like moving and soulful, kind of a bit like Ninja Bess.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Ninja Bess was great as well. Like R.I.P. man, it sucked that he died. It really was.
Yeah, really. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think like I think everyone should kind of check in with their friends and see what they're listening to, because, you know, whenever like I've discovered some amazing people through some of my best friends, and vice versa, because, you know, we individually find really cool stuff that no one knows. So it's like, I think people don't connect with their friends and people enough with music in that regard. People don't share enough.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It seems like kind of a private thing in a way.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Because it's like my best friend, he loves Pisas because I showed him Pisas, and now he's more hot on Pisas than I am. Like he's already way ahead of any release that he does, and it's just, he never would have found that had I not just gone, just listen to it.
Man, this is great to know there's so many Pisas fans in the world.
Yeah.
I hope Pat's listening. Shout out to Pat.
Yeah.
Big shout out.
he's very talented as well, isn't he? From what I've seen, like he's very.
Yeah, for sure.
He can just pick up any instrument and play it, and just like guitars and whatever. It's amazing.
Seems like, yeah. He's playing piano from a pretty young age. Yeah, and it seems like at this point he just I'll play this thing, I'll try this thing, and he seems to be really good at anything he tries. So
yeah,
it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Jack is also a musician. I'm just one of those pretenders, I'm just like, I can make electronic music.
That counts.
No, I'm
without knowing how instruments work. It's great.
No, I am familiar with your stuff.
Oh yeah. You used one of my songs in at least one set, maybe a couple sets. I'm forgetting now, but yeah, that was super awesome to see. Because again, it's just like sometimes you have no idea who's listening to your music or if anyone actually cares. You're just kind of putting stuff out, and it's nice. It's nice to see something like that happen. So thank you.
Well, I remember like you guys stuck out with the collaborate stuff that you guys do. That's how I got familiar with you guys, I think. And I remember,
cool.
Yeah, the stuff that you guys did was really cool. I do like the name ThinkFishTank. It really stood out. I don't know why. I think it's because I thought I was having like eye trouble because I was like I was trying to read it. I was like, think fish tank.
It is, yeah. It's a little bit of a tongue twister for your brain, but
that is meant to be a compliment, by the way. That came out. Doesn't sound like one, but it is.
No. I know you, man. I just had this brilliant idea this afternoon for like, sometimes it's fun to get like samples of like someone saying your artist name or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I have one from like a radio program that I've gotten my files that I'm going to use eventually. I figured today, because my handle on Xbox is the same thing as ThinkFishTank. I was like, I should just patch in my SP44 into my Xbox and just record all the people talking shit to me. And then have like some like insults at the beginning of my tracks, just like, ThinkFishTank, you're a piece of shit, and things like that. Oh, that'd be a fun drop.
I'm banging your mum, ThinkFish. Yeah,
exactly. Literally, it's so funny because again, like the name kind of like sticks out in a weird way, so people will just like, they're on mic, they're just like calling out shit. So I thought that'd be really funny if I could get some choice samples.
Oh Lord.
Oh, I don't miss those days of the angry 13-year-olds playing Call of Duty. I used to play Call of Duty.
Oh my God, I know. I thought for some reason I thought we were kind of like past that era, but nope. They're still just like 13 to 20-year-olds that just like talking shit for no reason.
It's the same kids. They can't age. That's why they're so pissed off. They're stuck at 13.
That's right.
Gotta let it out somehow, I guess.
It's just like, and they're saying the same shit too. Like, it's like saying the same shit we were saying 10 years ago.
Oh man.
It's like, nobody's come up with better insults. Like, come on, guys.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, it really is.
So are you guys gamers?
I am for sure. I won't speak for Jack, but yeah, I definitely am.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if I can call myself a gamer, but I'm juggling like way more video games than I should be, and I don't have like the attention span to focus on one of them for a specific amount of time. But at least as far as like multiplayer play, I don't do that a whole lot. For me, it's mostly these days it's single player stuff where I'm just kind of going through these stories.
Yeah, I suppose I'm the same really. Like I think I'm playing Breath of the Wild at the moment. Finally.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But because I don't have time often, so I spend it's taken me ages because that game is so complex and there's so much you have to do, and I'm just like,
oh yeah, it's massive.
Every time I log in, I'm like, why am I here? What was I doing last time? How do I do that? And then
yeah, I know, it's crazy. I forget the how the game works every time I punch back in. There's so many things to remember. I don't know what it is about that game. I was like, what? How do I climb? What's my purpose? What am I doing?
Yeah,
because there's so much you could do.
What am I collecting? I know, it's ridiculous. It like overwhelms me, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of prefer, if I'm being honest, it might be controversial. I know it's open world, it's cool, but I kind of miss the whole closed narrative a little bit. From the older Zelda games. I guess like. I don't know. I know it's the future. It's good, but I miss dungeons as well. That's
Oh, there are dungeons in Breath of the Wild too. Like those are still there. Those are still there. You just kind of have to find them.
I'm too busy trying to find my horse, I think.
Yeah.
So there's the temples. Those aren't dungeons, right?
There are the temples, but I feel like okay, I can't speak to it because I've only played it for like 5 hours so far. But I feel like there's also like bosses and dungeons and Breath of the Wild. I can't. Again, don't quote me on bosses, that. Don't quote me on that. Again,
some real like hardcore Nintendo guys got to come on here and like talk shit about us in the comments. You guys don't know fucking shit about Breath of the Wild.
Oh, it's a good game. I suppose me personally, I guess I've just stuck to a Nintendo boy now. Like I'd love to get a PlayStation, a PS5, but I'm just. I guess I'm sticking to the Switch, I suppose, because I like how Nintendo, they're not really doing that many releases, so I feel I can catch up and play, what's been out there, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah.
I did try Fortnite, and oh my god, it was awful. I just didn't know
what. I never got into it, but I'm definitely...
Yeah, neither did I.
Call of Duty Warzone, which is, similar in nature. It's a battle royale. I was so addicted to that during the quarantine. I put so many hours into that. It's fun though, man. It's a blast. Once you kind of get the hang of it, yeah.
So I think
this games get intense.
What was the first console you guys had?
Oh gosh, the first non-PC console that I had was a Nintendo GameCube.
Oh wow!
And then after that, my family got a Wii at some point, and then after that, it was nothing until I got a PS4 for my birthday. I think that was like a year or two ago that I finally got a PS4, and then after shortly after I got the PS4, I got a Switch as well, and that's where I'm at right now. I've got my PlayStation 4, I've got my Nintendo Switch, and my GameCube is still with me, but it is in a box somewhere.
Yeah. I think I was definitely a PC gamer growing up. That's like what my dad had. That's what we gamed on. I think there was an N64 at some point in my childhood, and it wasn't really till high school I got a Xbox 360. That was like a game changer at the time. And then of course with the next generation, I got the PS4, and then later on in the generation, I got the Xbox One X. That's the newest one, I think.
Yeah.
And I can't go back to my PS4 just because it's like such a like the One X is just like so insanely powerful.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's absurd. I do miss the exclusives though, because I still got my PS4, but I don't even like to fire it up because it like loads so slow in comparison to the One X. I'm like, I can't handle this. It like makes me grumpy every time. I don't know why. But then of course, the Switch too. I get too many gaming things going on at once. I don't know how to focus on one.
Oh, that's a mood.
Yeah, for sure. But the Switch is great fun on the go, and all the Nintendo exclusives that I didn't really play too much growing up. That's great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, how about you, British Jack? Tell us about your gaming life.
Well, the positive of being a divorced child is that I had two consoles. So I had a PlayStation. Right. I had a PlayStation at my mum's, and I had an N64 at my dad's. I remember I got the Dreamcast. You remember the Dreamcast?
Yeah.
Oh,
that console, like, it's a shame because I know that's the console that ended Sega.
Yeah.
But like, it was weird because it had so much potential. Like, it was the first console that had like online play and everything, and some of the games they had on there was just ridiculously quality. But there was just a lot of crap on there, and it didn't really take off. But I remember I loved the Dreamcast so much because I used to love. The first console I had was a Mega Drive because I grew up playing Sonic the Hedgehog. That's all I used to play for years.
Right.
And then I think since then I've just kind of like just played consoles here and there. But yeah, I bought myself a Switch Lite recently.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I used to play my mate's Xbox. Used to play like Call of Duty, like zombies, like religiously. I think it was Black Ops 1 or 2 with the
good times
with the bus. Do you remember the one with the bus?
Yeah. I think that was. Oh shit! Which one is that? I think that's one.
Yeah,
but
I kind of just I accepted that. I mean, I got a bit better at playing online. I think I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I think we actually bought that game at launch. Like bought it at midnight, and then we played it. For a day straight. Didn't sleep, just played it, and then so I was able to be good because I was one of the first people to play it. But right. I accepted after, but because I didn't practice, I accepted after that I was just not very good and I was getting shot. So I would just kind of dick about and just like I think when everyone was trying to like frantically fend off the zombies to get on the bus, I was like running around in the distance trying to find the driver or something, or just like
right.
Because I used to watch on YouTube. There used to be these like series called like How to Annoy Call of Duty Players. If you ever saw that,
no,
he was like,
sounds good.
It was on a Machinima. I don't know if that's still going or
Yeah. I don't know if that exists. Does it?
Yeah,
I think they might still be making stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah, weird.
But yeah, they used to have like he was a quality Call of Duty player, and he would literally go on there just to wind up like 12-year-olds. Like literally, like they would be like pinned, and he'd be like trying to like climb over the map. It's like, I'm gonna find some help. We're outnumbered, and like you just hear these like 12-year-olds like, no, fucking die. It was so funny.
Oh my god, yeah, that brings back so many memories. That era of gaming, yeah, just like staying up all night from a midnight release, like the Halo games and.
Yeah, you've kind of lost that now, and it was quite an exciting time. Just being so weird, just being up at midnight, queuing up to go into the game shop, and then just playing it, and it was exciting. That's when I liked it because everybody was online at that point. Like all of my friends were all up at 3 a.m. playing Modern Warfare 3 or whatever it was. It was amazing. Yeah,
yeah, and that was back in the day. You could actually put the disc in, and the game would just play.
Yeah.
No, it's like put the disc in, 50 gigabyte download. Okay, that's gonna be a while. Maybe tomorrow I'll play my new game.
Yeah, like because some of my people that I work with, they've got games consoles, and like similar thing. Because I think I'm playing the new Xbox. I'm like, just plug it in and play, and it's like 2 hours remaining. It's like, nope, not today.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
it's frustrating, but at the same time, gaming has come so far. It like the new Microsoft X Cloud is going to sound like I'm doing a Microsoft ad right now, but this is just you can stream your console right to your phone. You can stream games over data onto your phone. Like it's insane to think about. Like that's what I've wanted my entire life, is just like a little portable gaming thing that could handle massive games, and it's like now we just suddenly have it. There's all kinds of crazy stuff happening with gaming right now, so I feel like there's a lot of good stuff happening, but every time I think about it, I'm just like, I miss gaming in like the early 2000s. It's just there's something so nice about it.
Yeah, I think I'll quite 9 out of 10 times. If I can see Crash Bandicoot 1 or 2 or 3 on the PlayStation lying around, I'm like, yep, I'll play that.
Right.
Yeah, nostalgia is a very powerful thing. Hence, the creation of the Plunderphonics scene we're all in.
Right. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
It's all connected.
It is. Wow, you brought it right back. But nice work.
Yeah. Full circle.
You can tell he does this. Yeah.
Well done.
That's way better than we have 2 hosts on this show, and we can't even manage to do that. So
yeah. What's your process kind of like as you're curating and selecting things for Space Jam's radio? Is it a matter of like you're just kind of going through your Spotify, or I don't know, how do you go about selecting things?
I use SoundCloud, and I know that I kind of publish it everywhere, but I know SoundCloud, not many people use it, but there's just lots of music on SoundCloud. Obviously Spotify, there's just endless stuff, and I guess I know that some artists don't publish on Spotify anymore because of the shit payout that they're getting per play. I guess I kind of just go on. I mean, I think my algorithms have become quite good because SoundCloud's used to just me being random as hell and changing my mind, so they tend to like load up some songs. Well, I guess it started out by me just kind of not arrogantly as such, but playing what I wanted to play for radio. But now I've kind of streamlined a bit, so I am doing some promoting as well, because now I've gone through quite a lot of genres and scenes. I've met lots of different people, so I've got a slightly better understanding about who's who and who's got some stuff coming out, so I try to cater for that as well. So I kind of now I kind of look to artists that I know, or artists I'm familiar with, and see if they've got anything new. Then I'll kind of just go on a bit of a journey really, and see what kind of sounds together. And mixing, it's either a really fun instant process, or you just get like writer's block and nothing you do sounds right. It just always,
oh boy.
you kind of look at like 2 tracks, it's like, well, that's going to go together, and then it's just like, nope, that's not going to go together.
Yeah. I'm familiar with the artist block, and nothing sounding how you want it to sound. So like I think we all can relate to that.
Especially when you have a deadline, it always seems to happen then. Like,
God.
You've just got to kind of like learn when to stop and take a break, because often when you return, it doesn't sound as bad as you thought it did yesterday sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
That is true. Yeah.
And then other times it's the exact opposite. You're like, oh my God, I thought this worked. But yeah, I know what you mean. It does. I used to have this theory, and I think I would talk to Jack about this, is that, it always sounds better like the morning after, because we used to, when we were younger, we would stay up till 3, 4, whatever, working on music all the time, and you don't really know what it sounds like until you wake up in the morning and listen to it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's kind of weird to say that, but so that's like the most honest time, is like when you wake up the next day and you hear it for the first time with fresh ears.
Yeah.
That's when I find for myself I'm the most honest sounding. But yeah, it is interesting how that works.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And sometimes, I don't know if you've had this where it's gone the other way, where you have those brief moments of like complete, I think I did one mix and I was so confident with it. I was like, oh my God, I'm a genius. I'm the best. This is easy. And then and then I listened to it in the car moments before I've got to air it. And I'm like, what the fuck have I done here?
There's always the car test too, because things sound different in your car. So they always say, listen to it in the car while you're driving, because
it really does.
That's another way of kind of hearing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, I think because, well, as best as I can, I try and do a mix every single week. So you do get into the habit of kind of like knowing what's good. And yeah, I think just now that I'm 2 years in, now I've gotten to know, the sounds of certain genres and who's good. It does make it very easy to put some mixes together. And it's like a chance for me to catch up as well. Obviously I've done 2 Plunderphonics shows now. When the next one comes around, I'd be like, right, what's going on with, you two? What's going on with these guys? What have you? And then, so I make sure I try and include as many artists as I can, but I always pick, what flows. I don't just put something in for the sake of it. But generally, you can fit most things together. I think I've mixed most things. I mean, the Eclectic Method show, that was a very eclectic show in general, because I mixed in like drum and bass, lo-fi hip-hop, house, and then you've just got lots of like Studio Jubilee, Plunderphonics in between.
Nice.
It kind of worked, I guess.
Yeah, I really liked it. I definitely listened to that one because I think you did a track of mine on there, so I was aware of it happening. I really enjoyed the mix for sure. That was a really fun listen. Both your set and Eclectic Method, they're both really good.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. And what's always helpful as well is that when I get the guest mix, that kind of helps a lot, because they'll send you something and where how the first hour needs to sound like. So so obviously whatever they play, you kind of think, well, I don't know, say if it's like a house mix, maybe they go down more the techno vibe. It's like, well, I know I've got to go perhaps in the lighter side, more of the chill stuff in the first, you find it's good, and you find ways to you just kind of bounce off whatever they're doing, I suppose.
What's the actual process like of creating the set? Is any of it done live, or is it all programmed?
At the moment, it's just all pre-recorded. In the future, like I would like to go on Twitch or something. I used to do it like in a radio station. I used to include commentary.
Oh, nice.
For the first 3 seasons I did, but do you know what? I think I needed a break, because I just got very, very cynical and just direct, because I'd just be like, we're playing this now because obviously it's a good song. Like, I'm not going to justify it. It's a good song. Listen to it. And then afterwards, I'll play a better song,
Yeah. It's good music.
It just got very, it kind of cheapened it a bit as well. And I think in the beginning, I kind of would speak over the guest mix, and I think like it might have been the best idea. Like I think I actually spoke when Patrick did his mix, I was talking all the way throughout his mix and stuff. And like, I think those days of radio are gone, back in the day when people used to like rely on the DJ to give the track ID, because otherwise, but now you've got like Shazam, and you've got ways that you've got ways to find the music, or most people listen to podcasts. So people can find out the track if they need to. So I don't think it requires a dude just going, this is the track, by the way, this is what it's called.
Right.
And I guess I ran out of things to say. I kept just doing template phrases. Just became like a shell of my former self. I was like, this track is groovy, man. I was like, who's that? Like, what has happened? Yeah. But I think like I do quite like doing podcasts. I think what you guys are doing is great. I think lots of people listen to podcasts. And it's always good to hear a bunch of dudes share their opinion about music, you know.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
That sounded really cynical. I didn't mean it to be like that. It's like, yay! Who cares what we think?
Woo!
I like to get my opinions from exclusively white males.
Yes.
That's the sad truth of what we do here, but
Yeah.
we're trying our best.
Just 3 dudes listen to music. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the goal.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Was there anything else we wanted to go over? Do you have any ideas, Jack? American Jack?
I actually had one just nerdy question for British
sure.
Jack. So as far as like when you're actually putting the sets together, what DAWs are you using?
Well, it kind of varies, to be honest, because I do have like controllers, so I'll sometimes use like Traktor. Sometimes I do use Ableton sometimes. Sometimes I just use Virtual DJ, to be honest, if I'm in a hurry. Because it's very simple software. A lot of it does it for you. You know, obviously it's very basic, but if you're in a hurry, it's good. And no, I'm trying now to use my controllers now. I think in the very beginning, first 10 episodes, for being completely honest, I was literally learning to DJ as I was bringing out this show. Like, you know, I was just kind of going along with it. I thought, and I think I used Virtual DJ because it was straightforward. But over time, I'm now trying to practice, and I do basically record them as if I'm playing it live, if you like. Like I do set it up in like the little studio that I've got, just because like I'm kind of stepping out as a DJ for next year for certain events. So it's good practice really. But yeah, various DAWs.
Sweet.
Between Traktor and Virtual DJ, do you have a preference there?
I have to say Traktor now, because I'm getting more familiar with it, because it does definitely, you'll have to be a lot more attentive really, because obviously if you start with like Virtual DJ where, you know, beat matching is where you can basically sync everything up and the key pitch. So it's good that it strips it all back, because eventually, like, you know, it'd be good to practice on like some CDJs, you know, obviously that wouldn't work for recording and stuff, but you know, it's good just to go back to the basics, because obviously back in the day, people wouldn't have software. There'd all be like beat matching by ear and stuff.
Right.
It just gives more skill, I suppose, and it gives you more confidence as well, because, you know, like Virtual DJ, it's a good place to start, but if people don't only use that, they're not really prepared if there's ever like a problem, like if something goes wrong live and they have to go, or you know, if you turn up to a club and they just give you some random decks if it's not compatible. So I think it's I quite like Traktor, and I think, you know, I might move on to others, but because at the moment I just use Traktor. But yeah, I think it's just good to practice on them all really.
Sure, yeah. I'm actually a recent convert of Virtual DJ, believe it or not. I started on Traktor because I used to do, you know, gig DJing at like weddings and stuff like that, you know, just as a side gig. And I started on Traktor and I really like Traktor, but then I found out basically you can do videos through Virtual DJ, and that was like a huge game changer for me, because I've basically been building my live set, like ThinkFishTank set, in Virtual DJ.
Oh, nice.
So because there's all kinds of ways you can like add in stuff, take out stuff, affect things. With the videos, which, you know, I want my show to be all video centric. It's been a game changer. I really love the software, but yeah, Traktor's phenomenal as well. I was just curious what, from your point of view.
Yeah, like I still like Virtual DJ, and I think it's a good place to start. And I've actually, because I'm trying to get more into Ableton, because I actually got a Launchpad years ago.
Yeah.
And I still look at it, because I bought it at the time just as an impulse buy, and obviously like now I'm into music, and it stares at me when I sleep at night. It's like, why am I here? What is my purpose? So
which one, like the original?
I think it's a Akai, was it? I mean, it's an AK APC 40.
Oh yeah. That's
Steve and I both have
cooler,
those, yeah.
And it's red.
Oh shit.
That's what I actually run my show through in Virtual DJ, because they're compatible. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I noticed that actually. I guess I bought that with the hope to one day to do, if ever I do like more of a Plunderphonics type set, to get into sampling and, you know, maybe just fill it with samples, kind of do what like Eclectic Method does, you know, because he's still DJing, but he's just got like various like samples on the go.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I don't know. I'm guessing you haven't seen it, but Jack did a really good set for our live show we did in, what was that, April or May? But he did it all. American Jack did this all in the APC 40. So definitely go check that out. That's a really good example of like what you can do as far as like DJing and also like doing some live.
Well, thank you for the plug there, Steven.
Yeah, my pleasure, dude. That was a great set. I really enjoyed it.
I had a fun time putting that together and performing it. As stressful as it was, just because of the time constraints.
It was stressful.
I'd like to do that again. Maybe having more time, but
that was fun. Behind the curtain, we finished an album and then also we're working on live sets at the same time in like the span of a week. So it was way too much. But it turned out great. I think everyone enjoyed it. So.
Oh, I'll check it out. I saw it advertised. And yeah, I will definitely check it out. I'm very keen to see it.
Yeah, we'll punch the link in the description, obviously, but I'll send it to you afterwards so you can check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really fun. That was like my first time like organizing a music thing. It was all virtual, but it was a fun experience.
Yeah, even with like the little technical hiccups of like, is the stream actually going right now? Am I talking to myself? There was a bit of a moment where like I think I had Steve up on Facebook Messenger just to tell me like when I was actually live, so that I wouldn't be like starting with nobody there.
And then of course the delay was confusing. So I would probably say like start now, but you wouldn't see it till it's so weird.
I would say there was a good like 20 to 30 second delay. That would always make things really interesting.
Streaming is so stressful though. Like I've streamed onto YouTube for some really, and it's just, so I used to do like this live lounge type thing, and like we'd just be chatting, then cutting to like, but like I remember we connected, and and then straight away there was like a definite 30-second delay between the audio and the video, and it was just the most frustrating thing because literally, it was like watching like a badly dubbed like kung fu movie because like I'm apparently it's me talking, but I'm not even on the screen type thing. It's just that uncertainty because you really hope it goes well, but at the end of the day, it's like technology could just screw you over.
Right.
Yeah, but it's good that you guys did it though. Fair play. There needs to, I think. There needs to be more stuff like this going on. And I think obviously this year, like it's a shame that Facebook has now clamped down on streaming and music and stuff. You guys seen that?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that.
Wait. What's this?
Just that as far as like copyright stuff is concerned, Facebook has gotten a little tighter with regards to music streams. Really?
No.
That's what I thought. Because they're trying to compete with like the TikTok and everything.
Yeah, from what I've seen, I think they are. I think it's to stop DJs profiteering off other people's music without.
Oh, I see.
Because I think there has been some DJs that have like been accepting donations, but they don't credit the artist, and obviously with like.
Oh,
I see.
It's a bit dodge, and I think DJs that ask for donations to play their set, I don't know. I think it's kind of scummy, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I guess if I'm honest, like my pet hate is just DJs that don't ID the tracks. It's just the one thing, like people that they'll upload sets, but some people they won't credit the artist, because obviously people will like listen to a mix and stuff, and then they'll find a track they like, and then they can then find the tracks themselves and they can listen to it separately. But then DJs prevent that so that you have no choice but to keep coming back to the mix over and over again.
Oh.
But it's just so scummy, really, because if the mix is good, they'll still come back, and it just annoys me that they can't be bothered to. Oh my!
Yeah, that's true.
Making enemies on your podcast. I'm sorry about that.
No.
I'm British.
No,
I'm British. I'm blunt.
Yeah.
I will say from let me see, my experience with the Facebook stuff, and this is very minimal, but I had a couple things get flagged. What do you call that when there's like a copyright strike or whatever?
Yes.
I did a ThinkFishTank /DJ set back a while ago, April or something. And it got flagged. Actually, multiple things got flagged. And in that time, between then and now, they've actually all been released, all the claims, which is actually really cool because you'll never see that on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, claims will never get released. So I will say, to the benefit of Facebook, that seems like it's happened a couple times with mainly Warner Brothers, but maybe one other.
Oh, WMG?
Yes.
Or UMG? the Universal Music Group, and
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it was Warner Brothers. Is Warner Brothers a label?
I know Warner does have a label.
I think it is them. Yeah, Warner Music Group or something. Yeah,
and they're so quick as well. Like the second you put it up there, it's like bam.
Oh yeah, it's immediate. It's crazy.
Yeah. I guess I understand. I guess there's has to be that regulation, I suppose. Obviously, lots of people got away with it in the past, which they've had to make it so strict now, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the YouTube strikes, those piss me off, because it's, especially if it's it's an original track sampling something. I mean, I get it, it's your content, but it's not even it's like not the same song or anything. It's just like it's been sampled.
Yeah, and it's annoying because it's annoying because you put it live on YouTube, or because I think we've tried to advertise an artist and all of his music is copyrighted, and obviously he's given us permission to advertise him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've given it, he goes, yes, because we use his track because we've just announced him for an event next year and we do this promo video, and obviously you time your social media strategy. It's like, right, because we all just post it everywhere. And it's like, bam, here it is, the video. And then they mute the video. And then it takes like a week for you to unmute it. So you've just lost that whole marketing strategy,
Right.
Yeah, so we did like another post a week later. It's like, by the way, you can hear the music now if you want. Like they just watched the video in silence because it was muted. But it's like, it's like, you want to listen to it again? You can. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember running into that recently. Yeah, because I used some of my friends' music and it's just like copyright strike. It's like, I know him personally. Well, one of them was actually Pat, now that I think about it. One was Pat Pisas. I was like, I know him. Like he was watching the set. Like, are you seriously?
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous when that happens.
I gave such like a passive aggressive like response in the form where you tell them to like whitelist it. It's like, I've been asked personally by this person to present this music. Ask this person because I know him, sort of thing, because it's just ridiculous. Like the fact it takes a week is just madness.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a shame that it's a tough kind of minefield to navigate.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's like, as far as like regulation's concerned, like there definitely needs to be something in place to protect artists and their intellectual property. And as far as like then like being able to differentiate between like this is content that was authorized versus this is content that was not authorized, it can be unfortunately tricky.
Yeah.
Especially if it's just like a copyright bot that's just scanning everything and then immediately flagging it. And then you have to wait for an actual human to get their eyes on it and ears on it and then get things sorted out. And that's what takes the week.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So, Jack, where can people find your stuff and your sets?
So you can find, if you search for Space Jams Official, you can find it on Spotify, you can find it on Amazon Music, and it should be available on Kiki as well, and also on SoundCloud, Space Jams Official. And I'm on Instagram also at Space Jams Official. I'm also on Facebook, but it's not my preferred platform. But I would say like SoundCloud is the best place to go because that's where the mixes go first, and then you can kind of find them everywhere else really. But if you type it into Google as well, because you might find certain mixes have been posted by various Mixcloud sites as well. Taking over the world slowly, I suppose.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, go listen to Space Jams. I always enjoy it when I stop in and listen to it. So
nice.
You guys will love it too. Absolutely. Go give it a listen.
Yeah.
And hit that subscribe button. Right? That's what the kids say.
Yeah.
Slap that subscribe button. Ring
Slap
the fucking bell. Yeah.
True.
Is that right?
Yeah,
It's really important that you actually ring the bell, though. Otherwise, we'll be buried in the algorithm and you won't hear from us ever again.
If you're in the YouTube audience.
Yeah.
That's very realistic. Honestly, yeah, that's what they all say.
Yeah.
Ring the bell, my dudes. Yeah.
Anyway.
I think that was the best bit of the show, straight up. I think that's if that bit was the show, that's fine. Just cut all of me out and go with that. That's great.
Great.
We'll just ship that. It'll be a pretty easy edit.
Oh, yeah.
20 seconds of content. That'd be great.
They'll love it.
Yeah.
What about you, Steve?
Shit. I don't think I have anything new to report. But if you like the music of ThinkFishTank, go watch Balderdash Academy on YouTube. I'll be writing all new theme songs. That's what I'm working on lately, is writing these like little 20-second ditties. So it's been a lot of fun. So check that out. But yeah, you know where to find me. Just ThinkFishTank on all the usual shit.
Hell yeah.
Also, collaborate.com. Don't go there. Collaboratemusic.com. Collaboratemusic.com. That's the website.
Do you want to take another run at that?
Nope. That's
okay. Cool.
that's the way to do it.
Okay. Fair enough. As for me, I'm still making music. I swear I am. It's been a little while, but you can find my stuff on youtube.com/JawkaJabberwock or soundcloud.com/Jawka. And I swear there will be music. It's coming. Really. Truly.
Eventually we'll see a Jawka album.
Eventually. One day. Someday.
We're supposed to collaborate on something, Jack, but it's really my fault that nothing has happened. So
the ball's in your court right now.
It literally is. So just keep bugging me.
All right. I will. Now that you've told me that I can, you've given me permission. Prepare yourself. Oh, but yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jack. It's been a pleasure talking with you and getting to know you.
Real pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for inviting me. It's been great. I always love any opportunity to chat shit. I'm all over it. No, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, honestly.
Wonderful. Thank you again. Shall I roll in that there outro music?
Roll in the outro music.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's go.